Hey bag makers, what is going on? I'm back with you again. My name is Jaleesa. I am the owner of Handbags with J. Christine, and today I'm going to show you about stabilizers for your handbags. So let's get ready to check that out. So for the purposes of this video, everything that I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to reference as stabilizers. Now there is technically a difference between stabilizers and interfacing, but for bag making reasons, I'm calling it a stabilizer because I use them to stabilize the bag. I'm going to be showing you two different brands of stabilizers, both which can be used for fabric bag making as well as leather bag making. One is more geared toward the other. However, I have made both and have used both interchangeably, and they both work great. All right, so the first brand that I'm going to be sharing with you is called Luigi Carnavali, which I purchased from rmleathersupply.com. I am not affiliated with them. However, they are a great place to pick up anything that you need for leather craft and bag making. So check them out. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you 5 different stabilizers that I buy from them and that I have used, all except for one, but I do have a sample to show you. So let's dig into Luigi Carnavali. All right, so the first stabilizer from Luigi Carnavali is this little guy right here. It's just a sample. This is called Saba, S-A-B-A, and it's almost like a foam. Well, I guess you could call it a foam, but it's used for padding in bags as well as the body of a bag. So like, the sides, and it can be used for straps. It's very thin. It's only 0.2 milliliters. I have not actually used this on my bags before as I haven't had any use for it. However, this does seem like something that would work great for straps in the bag or just extra support if you're kind of looking for that kind of flexy padded type of stabilization in your bags. Again, this is called Saba, S-A-B-A from Luigi Carnavali. Okay, the next stabilizer that I have to show you is something that I definitely have used multiple times. This is called Brio, B-R-I-O. This is definitely for structure, heavy duty structure, more so like the base of your bag or where you're going to have a lot of weight. So maybe where strap attachments are going and things like that. They come in 2 different colors, white and black, 2 different weights, 0.7 millimeters and 0.9 milliliters. This is a 0.9. It moves a little bit more. I'm sorry, this is the 0.7. This moves a little bit more. The 0.9 is a little bit more rigid. This I have found really great for flaps in a bag that I want to be really structured and to kind of mold the leather into it. This doesn't necessarily mold, however, it does work out very well, along with another stabilizer that I'll be showing you for flaps and things like that. But this is great for bases, especially if you want to add feet to the bottom of your bag. This is great stability for that. So again, this is Brio, B-R-I-O. Okay, this next stabilizer I have used tons and tons of times for the structure of the bag alone. So your sides, your front, back, your gusset. This is great. This is called microfiber. And I love it because it's very flexible and it doesn't really cause the bag to look crinkly or anything like that. This also comes in 2 different weights and 2 different colors. Or at least I have 2 different colors. They may have a black option now. I'm not 100% sure. Here's the white right here. And what's great about all of Luigi Carnavali's things is they can be sewn in or they can be glued on. I'm usually, if it's going to be for the front and back of the bag and the gusset, I'm usually sewing that on just because I don't like the glued look, depending on the type of bag that I'm making. It all depends on what type of bag you're going for. But this comes in 0.5 and 1.0 milliliters, or millimeters, I'm sorry. So this is the 0.5 and this is the 1 millimeter. This next is kind of cool. It's actually pretty cool. So you guys know those bags that have the quilted effect or 3D effect, I could call it. This is what they use. So this is called Oslo, O-S-L-O. And this comes in, I believe, 0.5 and 1 millimeters. I could be wrong, don't quote me, but it's very much a foam. You guys see that? I love how it just kind of goes back to its shape. It doesn't crinkle. But it's great to get those 3D effect, quilting effects on your bags. It's great for, say, goat skin leather, lambskin leather, even great on thinner denims where you want that effect, which I'll actually show you a picture here of a bag that I created with that 3D effect for my denim collection a couple years ago. If you're going to pick this up, I definitely would recommend getting the thicker option that they have. I found that the thinner option did not give the effect that I was looking for. I definitely needed the thicker option, and I had to actually double up, or even maybe I had tripled up on the thicker option. So you just kind of have to test it depending on what type of fabric or leather you're using to decide what's going to go best for you and what you want your effect to look like. But overall, it's really cool. It's really fun, especially when you start seeing your design come together. Again, this is Oslo, and it's something I would definitely recommend playing around with in the future. Okay, so this last option is actually not from Luigi Carnavali, but it is something you can purchase from rmleathersupply.com. This is actually a bonded vegetable tan leather base. And they have different weights. I think it was anywhere between 0.5 millimeters to 2.0 milliliters in weight wise. This is called Salpha, SALPHA bonded vegetable tan leather. This is great for the bases of bags as well. Anything that you really need that structure on, kind of like the brio that I showed you here. It's just kind of a different option. This is also great for those structured flaps maybe that you want. I know that you can use this for watch straps, for belts. This is perfect to give it the structure and stability that it needs. And it's vegetable tan, so what's better? Okay, so those are all the options that I have from RM Leather Supply. Let's go ahead and check out Pelon, which is something that you can get from stores like Joann. So when I first started bag making, this is what I use. It's called Pelon, P-E-L-L-O-N. It's something that you can pick up from Joann's. It's something that's like always on sale, so it's a great product to have, a great product to start with, and a great product to use. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is something that I actually use for linings. Specifically when I use a cotton lining, which I don't do as much anymore, but it's great to give that extra stability, especially if you're sewing on pockets, whether it be open pockets or zipper pockets. This is called SF101, and it's iron on one side. So you literally take your fabric, take the sticky side, it's rougher. This is the soft side, so this would be the front. This would be the side that you iron on, and you iron it on and it sticks. But again, this is great if you're going to be using cotton for your linings of your bags. You definitely don't want to make your bags with cotton lining without stabilizing that first. You want that durability in your bag for it to be able to last a long time. Okay, so next is a very lightweight, or it's labeled as midweight, but I call it a lightweight. It's a Pelon 40 midweight. So this is sew-in only. This is great for bags that already have a lot of durability to them. So maybe heavy duty canvases that don't need too much more structure, but you still want to give some durability to them. I wouldn't recommend gluing these on. It doesn't give your bag a great look. These are great just to sew in. And this is also great to use behind your hardware, underneath your hardware. So anytime you insert hardware, you want to make sure you have some extra stability, because with hardware comes a lot of weight. So anything from, say, like rivets that you're adding on, snaps that you're adding on, whether it be magnetic or your classic button snap, you definitely want something behind it to give it extra stability. So when you're holding your bag or constantly opening and closing your bag, it has that stability behind it. And honestly, you can really use any of these weights that I'm about to show you for things like that, for your hardware. It doesn't have to be the 40 weight. Just make sure whatever you're using is matching, what you're using the bag for. So another option that I actually don't have that I thought I did is called a Pelon 50 weight. So I just showed you 40 weight. There is a 50 weight. 50 weight I used a lot more often. It's just a little thicker than the 40 weight. It still has that flexibility, something I still would not recommend gluing on, but it's great to sew on. It's great for added structure to your bag. Okay, second to last, this is the one that I used most often and still probably would use most often. I have used this with leather as well as with fabric bags. This is Pelon 926. This is considered a heavyweight stabilizer, but it still has flexibility. And yes, even though it crinkles, if you sew this in, I have found that it doesn't make the outside of your bag look crinkly, which is great. But it has a lot of durability. I wouldn't necessarily use this as a base of a bag. I don't think it's sturdy enough for that, but it's great for the sides, front and back of your bag. And it's great to use for stabilizing any hardware that you're putting in. Okay, so the very last stabilizer that I have to show you is also from Pelon. It's called 70 Ultra Firm. And it literally is what it's called. It's a very firm stabilizer. This is actually something that would be great for the base of a bag. It's got a lot of structure to it, a lot of durability. You'd be able to add purse feet using the stabilizer. I still, again, would not glue this in. It's always better to sew things like this into your bags. And I wouldn't necessarily use this as, for front or back either. I think it would be too rigid, too thick. And it would give you a different effect than maybe what you might be going for, unless you're going for a very structured, straight up and down bag. But as you can see, it doesn't crinkle. It goes right back into shape, which is why I say this is not necessarily good for the front and back of your bag, because it goes right back into place instead of the bag flowing and moving. There's so many different ways to use stabilizers. My suggestion is just to test it out, especially if you're using leather. You don't want that leather to go to waste. Leather can be very expensive, so make sure you test it out first to make sure it's something that you want to use and it's the type of structure you're looking for in your bag. All right, bag makers, well, that is all I have for you for this video. Please make sure you leave me a thumbs up, or you can leave me a thumbs down. But if you leave me a thumbs down, at least let me know why. Just be kind. Until next time, you guys, peace.